Bliss. Welcome back to a brand new weekly reading. Happy Resurrection Sunday. Happy Easter to all of you. Rissa Vibes here, aka Readings by Rissa. So excited to connect with you for another weekly reading. This is a oracle and channeled reading by me, a professional intuitive and intuitive development coach. And I'm super excited to bring forth the messages of this week per my connection to the spirit realm and reading the mass consciousness energy of this week. So this week we are going to be covering April 4th to April 11th. Today is Easter Sunday, Resurrection Sunday, really powerful day for divine connection to spirit and understanding ourselves and renewing our energy. And so we're going to dive deep into what that really means for us this week and how to best amplify our ability to renew our energy. Let me know if you can hear me well. Let me know if you can see me well. Please feel free to also let me know where you're tuning in from and how you're feeling today. Take a couple deep breaths and connect to your inner being as you hear these messages. This is also an opportunity for you to connect to your intuition and really start to understand what that means for you. And the more that you can connect to this kind of inner knowing within yourself and practice it every time you step into these readings weekly and readings of your own, the more you practice it, the more you develop your own innate ability to connect to your intuition. Now, I am also an intuitive development coach, which means I do help spiritually curious people activate their intuitive luminary gifts and walk their enlightenment path. So if this is something that you really feel you're called to this year, 2021 is the level up year. And it's also the year to do the shadow work necessary to release any resistance that we may have or any limitations we may have that is keeping us from being our purest positive potential and activating all of our gifts. So if that feels like you this year and you're really motivated to invest in yourself and your enlightenment path, this is officially the last week to sign up for the coaching for 2021, for the year of 2021. And I'm literally signing people up. I really was supposed to do last week being the last week, but I've decided to extend it to the end of this week, just to allow any additional people who really felt called to invest in themselves in that way to really have the opportunity to join this coaching term this year. So make sure to use the link in the description of this video and previous weekly readings to sign up for a free consultation for the coaching. Now, like I said, this is the very, very, very last week. So be ready to invest, be ready to commit, and be ready to step into this big level up of your luminary gifts, okay? Super, super exciting. Make sure to get your calls in this week. Otherwise, you will miss out on the opportunity to join this year. All right. But let's go ahead and move on from that and start talking about last week a little bit. Let's do a quick review of last week's cards just to give us an energy and idea of where we're coming from energetically so that we can prep for where we're moving into, right? We always like to honor past, present, and future because there's information everywhere for us to gather from each, okay? So last week I pulled the Find Your Center card, and this was a reminder for us to really make sure we approach everything in a centered, balanced way. We had that Libra full moon last week, which was really encouraging us to release the things that were out of balance. And a lot of things that were out of balance were stirred up and shown to us so that we could notice that there were issues there and we could do the work to release it. So I know some of us, including me, had some ups and downs last week with that moon, but hopefully you're all feeling more balanced and centered this week. Then in the middle of the week, last week, we had the Key to Intimacy card. This was encouraging us to really start to understand how to get more close to ourselves intimately and to others, learning the deepest parts of ourselves, being vulnerable, being able to share those things with others, and also learning those things about others. And so that we can develop the sense of closeness and connection that was needed for last week. Then at the end of the week, we had the Beloved card, which was letting us know that we are sacred beings, we have sovereign power, and we are meant to really honor our true essence, our beloved nature, okay? Honor the sovereign being that you are. And then finally, we had that full moon in Libra card, which was abundance, which is exciting, allowing us to really connect to our prosperity, our abundance mentality, and really to do the work to activate more abundance in our lives, okay? So that was what the Libra full moon was also showing us last week. So hopefully you got some pretty cool downloads about abundance and some deep realizations around that as well, okay? Now let's go ahead and go into this week. This week is April 4th to April 11th. Like we talked about last week, we did just enter a brand new month of April. April is the month of renewal, according to the annual card reading that I did at the beginning of the year, where I pulled one card for each month of 2021, and April's card was renewal. So this is all so divine, so on point, because today is Resurrection Sunday, and we literally are experiencing this essence and energy of renewal, rebirth, resurrection. And I titled this reading, renewing your pulse of life. Okay, I pulled the pulse of life card in the Galactic Heritage deck yesterday for Starseed Saturday, and we did a really deep meditation on how to activate our galactic core, our cosmic selves, and how to reactivate our pulse of life. And so that was a really powerful meditation, and I brought some of that into this reading because I think it's incredibly important to focus on this week. So if you want to go and check out the Starseed Saturday meditation, make sure to check it out on my OnlyFans. That is the only place that it is available now. And it is a really great opportunity for you to just get connected to your cosmic self and galactic guides. And right now I am keeping the posts free on my OnlyFans, and it's free to subscribe. So do not miss out on that opportunity because it's such a activating reading and meditation every Saturday. Okay. So this reactivation, this renewal of our pulse of life. What is the pulse of life? Well, the pulse of life is our vital energy force. It is the passion that comes with the spark of our spirit. It is the liveliness of our energy. It is the vibrance of our essence, right? That is what the pulse of life is. And when you think about the pulse, you think about the heartbeat, okay? And on a physical level, we do recognize that the heart is such a big, important factor in our ability to stay alive, right? It keeps the blood pumping. It keeps things circulating through our body. And if that heart stops, we can no longer exist here, right? And so the same thing goes energetically. Our heart is also such an important part of our spiritual body, our light body, our energetic body. It is what allows us to create with the vital life force energy that we are always connected to from source, the creator, the divine. And it allows us to circulate that life force energy throughout our energetic body to create magic, to create manifestation, to create miracles, and to create change in our lives, in our bodies, and in our essence, okay, for healing, for cleansing, for activation. And so we honor that the heart is such a big part of our vital life force energy. And when we think about it in a spiritual way, you know, in regards to resurrection, it's about really recognizing what is here in the heart space. What is in your heart space that has felt, you know, just kind of destroyed or tarnished or, you know, broken, right? And how can you resurrect and renew your heart energy from those experiences that left it feeling dead and desolate? So this is a time where we want to recognize the heartbreaks in our past, recognize anything that have been coming up from those feelings, from those traumas. And notice that if that has been coming up for you, this is an opportunity to renew that pulse of life within you, to reconnect to the vital life force, the vibrancy of your heart, the essence of liveliness in your heart, and to clear away the pain and the agony or any of the hurt of the past that has caused your heart to feel limited in its purest positive potential, okay? This is how we renew our pulse of life. And so much of that includes us activating and remembering our passions, okay? That is such an easy way to reignite that energy of the heart space. You know, if you already did a lot of the healing work, but you're just feeling like, man, my heart is just not in it anymore. It's not excited for life anymore. Then it's time to really focus on your passions again. What are the passions that you had in the past that maybe you forgot about or started to ignore that represent that sense of vibrance and that bring that back within you? Think back on the last time you felt that sense of liveliness in yourself and recognize what was present there and start to reinvigorate that within yourself. You know, the passions, the excitement, the sense of adventurousness, the inner child playfulness, okay? The creativity. And so this is all that energy of renewal that we want to pull in this week, and that we're already feeling because of this Easter Sunday, this Resurrection Sunday, such an energy behind it, not just for the traditional ways and religious ways that we know in history that this, day brings in symbolically, but also the energy of the seasons, the energy of the elements, the fact that Mother Earth is reflecting this sense of renewal, that everything is kind of becoming lively again, right? The flowers are blooming, the wasps, the bees, the birds, they're buzzing, they're flying around. The energy, the sun is back out, right? So this energy of renewal and renewing that pulse of life, that vitality on earth and within ourselves, okay? This is a beautiful thing to recognize, and I really want you to take time to do so, because as you observe the way that things are renewing around you, you'll start to naturally observe more of the renewal energies within you that are being awakened, okay? Now, the next spiritual message is about emotional processing. This is something that is really important for a lot of people, especially from that Libra full moon last week. A lot of us have been called to start to process the emotions that have not been processed for some time. You may be even having some digestive issues, some bloating in the belly, some tension in the stomach. These are literally energies in the body that are not being digested, okay? And they can even reflect our physical experience. I know for me, I've had some gut issues lately, and I noticed that they were related to the emotions that I've been kind of stuffing away or trying to push through. And, forgetting to do journaling practices and meditations to clear that stuff can definitely cause a buildup in that way. So make sure that you're checking in with yourself and you're not ignoring or, slacking off on the things that really help you stay mindful and help you process your emotions, your thoughts, and everything that you're experiencing in this world, because energy is influencing us at all times. And if we're not taking the time and the space and doing the practices to process that information or those energies, they're going to build up and they're going to cause tension, and they're going to cause, uncomfortability in our energy body. So take the time to observe and to communicate and to process the emotions that may be coming up from the past that were not processed, that still need to be processed for healing and for closure. And pay attention to the energies that you're experiencing right now that you're not processing. Make sure you're processing stuff right away. If something comes up and triggers you, don't wait until 3 days from now to process it. Take a moment right then and there and say, okay, this is what's happening in my body, in my mind, in my heart, and I recognize this as this, and I'm going to do the work to switch my perspective or allow this energy to flow through me so that it doesn't get stuck, and I allow it to, move through me, to move on. I allow myself to let it go. That's how we process. And if we don't take time to do it, we're going to harbor a lot of energy we don't need. And remember that you're not alone in this, because a lot of people forget that they have people to lean on or talk to in moments of, crisis or moments of emotional pain or just needing to process things. There are so many people that you can call on and lean on. And some of us, we get caught up in thinking, oh, we're a burden. Oh, we don't want to bother anybody. But guess what? Most of the time when we open up to those people, they are really needing that for a reason too. Maybe they really needed to know that they could help somebody today, or maybe they were feeling something and they can relate to it, and it creates a beautiful experience for both of you to heal and to understand things differently. So just recognize that and honor that and lean on the support that you have, because it's super, super important for us to not forget that we have that support. And if you feel like you don't have that support physically, you do have that support virtually right here every weekly reading. So feel free to talk about what's been weighing on you in these comments, and to notice how your community shows up for you and lets you know you're not alone. And also recognize that you have that same connection in even more amplified ways when you lean into the support of your spirit guides, of the great creator, of the divine, and of the inner being within yourself that is connected to it all and is able to communicate to it all, okay? So take time to pray, take time to ask your guides for guidance if you feel like you need some support from the unseen realms as well. All right. So, like I said, today is Easter Sunday, Resurrection Sunday. And, we focus on resurrection being that, we know that Jesus rose from the dead on this day. Historically, according to Christian traditions and many other religions that have similar stories with different archetypes and different characters. And so, recognizing the similarities in all of the cultures, many of the religions across the planet, will also help you to understand that this energy is a symbolic energy that is very universal. And so, the energy of resurrection, I like to use the story of Jesus because it is such a strong symbolic story. And, he rose from the dead, and Mary Magdalene was the first to see him. And he told her not to touch him. She went to hug him, and he said, "Don't touch me. I'm not of this realm." Right. And so, I'm paraphrasing here, but he talks about how he's not really his physical presence anymore. He's pretty much his light body. Okay. And so he was there, but he wasn't there in physical form. He was there in an embodiment of what he looked like in physical form to be recognizable. But he was energy. He was light. He had reconnected. He had resurrected. He had resurrected his pulse of life, his vital life force, his light body. Okay, and we all have that light body within us. We all have that essence within us that is connected to source. And if you've been feeling down, if you've been feeling disconnected, if you've been feeling, disheartened, resurrect that pulse of life of your spirit. Resurrect that faith, that belief, that trust in the divine connection you have to source that is always there, the light within you. Resurrect that. Start to do the things that make you happy, that make you feel free, that make you feel excited, that are a part of your passion, that make you feel love and gratitude. And you'll notice as you pour more energy into doing those things, you will feel that resurrection of your pulse of life, that renewal of your life energy. These are an opportunity for more light body activations for all of us this time of Easter and of the spring, that we can really feel the way the sun hits us after maybe not hitting us for a while, and the way the flowers bring us an energy of gratitude, and the way the insects and the animals interact with us and connect to the land. And we start to recognize these light body activations, these deep awarenesses of our intuition, and these deep connections to everything that is, our experience. So source light connection is something really big right now this week as well. You're going to feel more connected to your guides, more connected to your higher self, more connected to source. And we're really emerging out of the cocoon with this energy, as we do every spring, every kind of Easter time of the year. But with this year particularly, this year is a shadow work year, okay? So that means we really have to do the work to reach this next level of growth. Most of the time we go through the springtime and we up level in a subtle way or a comfortable way or a way that just kind of is what we expected. But this year, if we want big quantum level ups, big quantum leaps of progress and success, we've got to do the work. And it's almost like we're all at this cap, like a capped part of our progress, like something's kind of keeping us from moving up. And you know what it is? It's the shadow work we have to do. We're not allowed to move to the really epic level of success that we want until we do the shadow work. And a lot of the shadow work is fighting those demons within us, those thoughts, those emotions that bring us down and keep our vibration low. And these are energies that are connected to doubt in our ability to discern the difference between what is best for us and what decisions to make. These are also the energies of fear in every form that is being, kind of conditioned into our experience and forced upon us, right? We have to face and battle those fears. And also these pressures, I call them pandemic pressures, because that's where we're at right now in this energy is the pandemic. And there's these pressures to conform, pressures to decide, pressures to, do a lot of different things. And it's a lot, okay? It's a lot, but it's shadow work we have to do. And it's things that are happening in our experience that are making us see where we have been cheating ourselves, where we have been deceiving ourselves, where we have been not true to ourselves, and where we need to kind of come back to our essence and come back to our power and come back to our truth. So these are the things we have to work on in 2021 in order to get to that super, super next level of success, okay? We have to face and fight these demons. And it's not easy, but it is necessary. It is necessary for us to overcome, and we will overcome these things. And they're all here for a purpose, okay? This shall pass, and this must come to be, okay? This is what we need to remember. Now, a part of what's going to help us do the shadow work and really catapult into that next level of success, activate our goals, achieve our mission, is this Aries Fire's energy, okay? The Aries Fire energy is so strong right now. We are in the thick of Aries season, and this is a great time for us to use that passion, use that power of the Aries spirit, the desire to move forward with gusto and strength and to be the first. And we want to use this, and we don't want it to use us, okay? So use the Aries energy, but don't let it use you, okay? That means that use the fire of passion, use the fire of excitement, use the fire of determination and motivation, and maybe even a little healthy competition to get you to where you want to go. But don't let that Aries energy turn into overzealous ego or greed or bulldozing over people, or things that can really, really get out of place and out of hand from that Aries energy if it goes too far, okay? And also recognizing that sometimes that Aries energy can bulldozer over us just because we're so passionate, we don't even see, what we're doing in a bigger picture perspective that could actually be limiting us, right? So recognizing how that fire is being instilled in you and how you may be using it in a productive way and how you might be using it in a non-productive way, so you can start to lean more in the productive side, okay? So this kind of observation and mindfulness is what we use to navigate our experience with more grace and to master ourselves and the energy that we are always connected to, okay, as it changes and transforms with every season and every astrological formation and every cycle within ourselves, all right? It's a beautiful thing that we're experiencing on this planet, and it's quite amazing, right, when you really think about it. So I had a couple spirit animals come to me this weekend, and I thought I would share them because they are so on point to this week's energy and everything we're talking about, and also this Aries fire. And so the first spirit animal, spirit totem, is this energy of the honey badger. And it's funny because this came up in just a funny conversation with Chad and I this weekend, because my dog Gio, as you all know, he's right here, is such a little firecracker. And we were talking about how cocky Gio is and how he will just fight any big dog he sees without even knowing if they want to mess with him or not. He's just so defensive and so aggro, and he's the tiniest little dog. And Chad was he's like a little honey badger. Honey badgers are completely fearless. They're the most fearless animal. And the slogan of the honey badger is honey badgers don't give a shit. And I think it's so funny because we were watching all these honey badger videos, and me and him were laughing about Gio being the honey badger dog, and we want to get him a little honey badger outfit or a little honey badger shirt. So exciting. But then I researched the spirit totem of the honey badger, or aka the badger, and it's this energy of persistence, determination, and endurance. And it says that the badger teaches us how to go for our goals and unrelentlessly, just to not let anything get in the way of what we're looking to do and what we know we need to do for our success. Nothing can get away, not the amount of money to invest, not the people that are saying we can't do it, not the doubts, fears, and judgments within ourselves, not anything that just stands in our way and says no. We are going to accomplish our goals. We are going to use that Aries fire to just go at it until we have it, right? To be super persistent and determined to achieve what we know we want to achieve this year. And so the honey badger teaches us yes, we have to just go for it. We have to be relentless. We have to be resilient. We have to be fearless. We have to be brave. We have to be bold. And we have to act like we're the toughest thing in the world, even if we are actually kind of small in what we feel we are. Or maybe we feel we're smaller than we are, right? Even if we feel small, the honey badger doesn't give a shit. The honey badger still acts like it's the biggest, toughest animal in the world. And guess what? If you look up some honey badger videos, you'll see honey badgers going toe to toe with packs of lions and scaring the lions off, literally, because they're so bold, they're so fierce, so tough, and they just don't give a shit. Okay, so how can you embody that energy, right? And that's really what we're being called to do this month, or this week, and this month, really, with this renewal energy, that pulse of life. The honey badger has a pulse of life. It's not going to back down, right? It'll do anything, before it backs down. And then the second spirit animal that I had the chance to connect with today, spirit animal totem, was the wasp. And it was really beautiful because today was one of the first days that me and Gio and Chad got to sit outside on our patio and sip our tea and relax like I usually do in Arizona. And it was the first time in months we were able to do that. And it was beautiful. And as we're sitting there, and you can check my IG story at Readings by Rissa for some videos on this, a beautiful wasp came up to us. And, if you know me personally or just have heard me talk about it, I have this insane relationship with insects. I must have been one in a past life or something, but I am just a insect whisperer, specifically bees, but any insect will do. And so I was Chad was like, are we good with this wasp? Are we good? And I was like, we're good. I'm like talking to the wasp telepathically. I'm like, we're good. The wasp leaves us alone. And then about 3 minutes later, we're still sitting outside, and I'm not kidding you guys. It was a wasp that was probably 2 to 3 times bigger than the one that I had seen at first. It comes up super close to my face, brushes by my face. I'm like, oh, hey, babe. Hey, little wasp. Lands on my shoulder. I'm literally looking at this wasp eye to eye in the face. It's huge, okay? I'm not scared because I'm an insect whisperer, right? And it's huge. I'm looking at the wasp. I'm like, you're so pretty. Look at you. You're gorgeous. Blah, blah, blah. And then it literally jumps off my shoulder, zips around, and goes right back to the hive at the top of the roof. Now, this was a beautiful activation and initiation for me because I have a lot of connection to bees. I do this with bees all the time. I've had bees kiss me on the third eye, kiss me on the nose, like hang out with me for like hours, totally. And butterflies the same. But I've never had it with a wasp. So it's a little bit like, okay, wasps are a little different vibration. Like they're a little bit more territorial, a little bit more predatory, a little bit more aggro, a little more fiery, right? With that Aries energy. But let me just see if I can still have the same kind of connection, right? And I was able to. Why? Because I didn't let the fear get in the way. I didn't let myself take that passion to connect to the wasp or that passion to be outside. I didn't let it turn into fear or panic. I allowed myself to relax and talk to the wasp. And then when I went back inside, I looked up the wasp spirit animal, and it literally is the same thing. It's about going after your goals and achieving your goals faster because you are so determined to achieve them. And this energy of being able to kind of spark your success in a quicker way and to be a powerful force in that. So pretty awesome that both of those animals showed up in my experience this weekend as a sign of all the messages I'm bringing for you this week and what we're experiencing. So definitely check in with yourself on any spirit totems that you may be experiencing, because I bet you they have a message for you on this renewal energy as well. And this is such a great time for us to believe that we can accomplish so much more when we really just go for it and don't let anything kind of get in the way of our belief that we can. So we are fierce, we are strong, and we are not to be messed with. That is what the wasp and the honey badger teaches us. And we want to recognize that we are one with the elements. So all of these messages and all of those connections and symbolisms that we see in the nature world also reflect our experiences. So overall this week, before we end with some astrology messages, I just want you to know that no matter what has cast you down or caused you pain or frustrated you this week or previously, We will overcome. You will overcome. I know there's been a lot going on in the world as well. We will overcome, okay? Trust that. Feel into your spirit. Feel into your connection to source, your light, and let that be the guide to renew the pulse of life that you have within you, that helps you to feel even more confident, even more bold, and even more certain of your success moving forward, okay? It's a beautiful energy this week to have. Today is 4/4/2021. The year's date is 5, and the month and day is 8. And so we have a beautiful, 13 energy, which comes to 4. And so we see that even in that 4/4, we also have a 4 numerological value total, which is powerful, okay? 444 code. So what does that teach us? It teaches us that 4 is all about challenges and contrast, but being able to overcome it with the connection we have to our spirit guides, our angels, and the ways they guide us through. So do that. Use that energy. That's the energy of this week. Let yourself connect to your guides to move through any challenges, and trust that you can, okay? Trust that you can. All right, real quick to sum up everything, our astrology messages of the week. We do have a couple of little transits. The first one is on the 6th. Venus is in Aries, sextiling Mars in Gemini. Mars in Gemini is us acting on both of our energies, our duality, and kind of trying to discern what actions to take based on what energies we're feeling. The Venus in Aries is letting us feel more passion and pleasure and beauty and appreciation of that. So the more that we can be in the presence of appreciation, of beauty and pleasure and joy, the more that we can act accordingly and create more fun experiences based on our honor of that, okay? This creates a romantic energy and a playful energy for the 6th. And then on the 11th, which is when we come back again for a brand new weekly reading, on the 11th, we have our new moon in Aries officially. So that's why it's so important to pay attention to the Aries energy that you're feeling within you, that fiery, ignited passion and persistence and productive desires to move forward, because we are going to finish out this week with a powerful activation of all of those things with the new moon in Aries on the 11th. So just keep that in mind, okay? We remember that new moons are all about setting new intentions and starting new beginnings and really connecting to our goals. And like I said, we know that Aries is all about being passionately productive in our goals and progressing forward with persistence, determination, and motivation. So think about how you're doing that in your life and how you can amplify that energy in your life, and start to create some intentions for that for Sunday, so you can use that in your moon ritual, and we can start to have an even deeper conversation about what other transits are in the new moon on Sunday. So we'll go over that next Sunday, 1:11 p.m. Central Time, the deeper read on the new moon in Aries, since it'll be that night that we'll be experiencing that moon, okay? So those are the astrological messages. How is everybody feeling? Candace says, I'm totally a wasp and honey badger this year. I love it. Yeah. Like, hone into your honey badger wasp energy. Like, if you're the wasp, I know I'm an air sign, so I'm a double air sign, y'all. Gemini rising, Gemini sun, Cancer moon. So I definitely resonate with the wasp. I'm like, if I'm going to be my Aries fire self, like, that is the wasp is way more my embodiment of that compared to the honey badger. I think the honey badger is a little bit more grounded and like tough, you know, so maybe that's more for the earth signs and, you know, even the fire signs and stuff. But I think for me, I'm more of a wasp than a honey badger, but I can feel both. So yeah, let's tap into both, y'all. Yes, Gio is a badass, Leslie. Thank you for that. Yes. Oh my goodness. I love that you're watching at work or right before going to work, Kevin. We're sending you lots of love for your work day and lots of peace. I know being surrounded by people is not always the funnest when you're wanting to tap in, but guess what? Sometimes it can be the best, because when we tap in a group of people connecting to our intuition and source and messages like this, we actually end up creating a beautiful vortex of energy that starts to affect everybody else around us in a positive way. So hopefully your vortex of energy is doing its work in that environment, and I'm sure it is super, super cool. Love your messages, Rissa. Thank you so much for doing what you do. Thank you, Carmen, so much for that support and love. I really, truly enjoy connecting with all of you. All right, so let's go ahead and pull some cards to end out this week. We'll pull a beginning of the week card, middle of the week card, and end of the week card. And what announcements do I have? Just check out my OnlyFans account, you guys. I've been getting some pretty exciting publications. I got an article in Dazed magazine. They interviewed me about how tarot readers and luminaries are taking over OnlyFans, and they interviewed me. That was really cool. I've got another article coming out soon with Refinery 29 in the same kind of lane. And it's just really exciting, you guys. So definitely check out my OnlyFans because there's some pretty cool stuff on there. I've been doing an Own Your Own Story series where I'm talking about all the times in my life leading up to me as a professional intuitive. And this includes, visions I had, connections I had, mediumship experiences, seeing angels for the first time when I was a kid. Lots of cool stories there. I'm also posting every Starseed Saturday meditation and reading on my OnlyFans from now on. So that's up there as well for guided meditations to connect to your cosmic self and galactic guides. And I'm doing mini reading Mondays. Mini reading Mondays are where I go onto my OnlyFans and do a very quick version of these readings for those of you who just want a quick reminder throughout your week or just want to plug into a quick version of this reading in case you ever miss these or you only have a few minutes to tap in. And then I also pull an extra card or two just for a deeper read of the energy once we're fully in it on Monday. So expect that tomorrow. And I also offer quick mini card readings via tip on my OnlyFans as well. So you can tip the posts. So you can tip me on the posts and then you can open up for a free personal reading. So it's kind of like a little deal I do. If you want your own card pulled, tip me on this post or send me a tip via DM and I'll send you a card for your week. So a lot of different ways to connect more deeply personally with me, to hear more of my story. And I'm also going to be sharing some of my sneak peeks to my new album that will be dropping in the summer of this year. And I'm going to be sharing some really cool audio clips, some deep dives into the BTS and the stories behind Spirit Junkie, because I never really got a chance to describe and explain the process of creating that album. So I'm going to start putting out a lot of content about my music on OnlyFans too, just to get us ready for the new album. So make sure you subscribe to my OnlyFans. You're not going to regret it. There's so much on there. And most of the stuff I'm putting on there is for free. The subscription is totally free. Sometimes I charge per post, but lately I've been feeling just doing it for free and asking for tips. So energy exchanges are always welcome on there, but I just want to interact with all of you and that's what I'm there for. So thanks for checking that out when you do. All right, let's go ahead and step right into these cards to end out our reading. First card in the beginning of the week. Let me see if I can get closer. Equanimity. You can't really see it because it's kind of hard. Oh, can you kind of see it? Kind of see it. Equanimity. This is really this energy of balance, okay? This is an energy of honoring that Libra full moon energy that we had to experience last week that finally brought us into our center. And when we are in this energy of equanimity and balance, we end up activating this beautiful sapphire energy, this connection to our intuition and to the sky, to the higher realms, to the subtle energies in all things, and our connection to source light. This is the activation of our light body as we renew our pulse of life, okay? So focus on that this week. Middle of the week card is answered prayer, and this is such a beautiful card letting us know that the more we speak to our guides, the more that we lean on them for support from the unseen worlds, from our higher selves, from our angels, from source, the more we pray and ask for what we need, the more these guides show up for us and let us know that we are not alone. So remember what I said earlier, if you've been feeling down or disconnected, resurrect and renew that pulse of life connection that you have with source that's always flowing through you, that light in your spirit, and ask for the support you need, and you will receive it through answered prayers, okay? Middle of the week card. And if it couldn't get any better for Resurrection Sunday, at the end of the week, we have the Universal Christ Consciousness card. Holy smokes. Thank you, Yeshua, Jesus, the beautiful archetype and prophet that he is, the divine human that showed us the way to activating our light body and let us know that it is possible to transcend our human condition and resurrect into our light body spirit and our universal Christ consciousness, okay? Now, I've been seeing a lot of people so confused, okay? I mean, I've seen it in the religious groups. I've seen it in the spiritualist groups. I've seen it in the, socio-political groups. Confusion around this, around what universal Christ is, around what Christ is. This confusion around Christ energy is really going to be something that we're going to see continuing on throughout the next several years. And it's going to continue showing up as a representation of this duality, this separatism around the idea of Christ. And the more that we can move into an energy of universal Christ consciousness, meaning that we appreciate what the energy of Christ represents in all forms, not just religiously, but energetically, spiritually, symbolically, intuitively, intellectually, okay? This is an energy of connection to all things, connection to your divinity, connection to the divine creator and the divine creative essence within yourself. And I feel personally that Universal Christ, this card, is really about allowing ourselves to see how we all see Christ similarly, to notice the ways in which we see the same archetypal stories, the same symbolisms, the same kind of parables play out in so many different stories, cultures, and religions, and how all of those similarities, when brought together, can represent this energy of the kingdom, of the way in which we are meant to stay integritous and genuine to our universal Christ consciousness, the energy of a universal understanding of what Christ is: pure love, connection, compassion, gratitude, creation, right? These are the things, grace, right? Peace, liberation. These are the things that we know when we just think about it. What is Christ? What does the energy of Christ represent? Miracles, right? These are the things that we know that the universal energy of Christ represents, but there's so many things that get in the way when we have conversations with others who are more in their ego or more in that separatism or more in that judgment perspective, and start to nitpick at the way you see Christ or nitpick at the way that others see Christ, when really we could just be paying attention to all the similarities and going from there, right? Instead of saying, oh, well, you're not a follower of Christ because you don't think about it in this way, or you don't see it in this way, or you don't worship in this way, right? That, to me, is the opposite of universal Christ. It is not compassionate. It is not unconditionally loving. It is not free. And it does not represent that. So I'm all about representing that energy of appreciation and honor for the way in which this universal Christ consciousness is surfacing, and this appreciation we can have for all people who may think differently, worship differently, understand things differently, but still may understand the basic universal energy of Christ, right? And that's how we can start to bring ourselves back together and bridge the gap in the separatism that's been showing up in this spiritual kind of warlike experience we're all seeing show up. So the confusion is there. Don't let anybody's confusion or judgment get to you. Just lead with love, lead with the universal Christ consciousness that's within you, that unconditional, loving, compassionate, liberating energy. And don't let anybody knock you off that, okay? Honor that for yourself, okay? And as an example of that Christ consciousness that you get to show everybody else, all right? I love you all so much. It was such a pleasure to connect with you as always. I will see you next week for another brand new weekly reading right here on YouTube, 1:11 p.m. Central Time, live as always. And make sure to go check out my OnlyFans for some added content. And also, that's it. See you on the flip side. We'll probably be doing a moon talk for the new moon in Aries on Sunday night on my Instagram live. Me and Chad, my love, we always get on live and talk about the moon and how we're experiencing it and just offer some support for others who are experiencing it as well and want to talk about it. So be on the lookout for that as well on my Instagram at Readings by Rissa. And again, if you know you need coaching and you are ready to level up your luminary expression, your luminary intuitive gifts, your ability to be who you know you're meant to be and to step into your purpose as a healer, as an intuitive reader, as a product developer for spiritual activation tools or oils or anything like that, art, Reiki. If you know you're meant to do these things and you're tired of waiting around to start stepping into your power, this is the very last week to sign up, for one-on-one coaching with me. And I am telling you, if you check the video I posted about this a few weeks ago, it is on the video feed, you will see how many lives have been changing full throttle from this program. I mean, literally, my graduates are stepping into their spiritual businesses. They are manifesting miracles. They are watching their abundance and their prosperity go up every single month and week. And they're doing it because they put the work in and because they stepped into the investment in themselves and they trusted that the universe was going to support that investment. And it did. Tenfold, and it was magical. And I've seen this so many times with every single client, so I want to see this with you as well if you're ready for it. So definitely click the link in the description. Once this video uploads, you'll see an opportunity for a 45-minute free consultation call. Click that, read this description, watch the video, and then book your consultation, and we'll get on the phone this week to pick what program is best for you. Like I said, it's the last week, so you're going to have to sign up pretty close to right away. But trust me, this is the time. It's now or never, because this is the last chance for 2021 for this program. All right? I love you all so much. I will see you soon next week for that amazing new moon in Aries and a new weekly reading. Have a wonderful day. Happy Easter. Peace. Mwah.